This is the second generation Skoda Kodiaq. Now the first generation sold over 850,000 units worldwide. Let's see if this lives up to its predecessor. So this is actually the highest trim level, but it's not available to order just yet. The SE and the SEL are though, but I would actually personally wait for this because I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Now I've been converted. I recently did a video on the Octavia and the Enyaq, and I am a Skoda girl now. I think they're great value for money and they styled really nicely. So let's have a look at this.
We now have a four-eyed arrangement at the front with the top lights having LED matrix technology. The new flying arrow shape of the light signature plays homage to the winged arrow famous from the brand logo. Talking about the logo, it's much bigger now and it looks fantastic. Framed by two air curtains, we now have a hexagonal grille with striking LED strip between the headlamps. Very new Skoda. Onto the rear of the car, the tail lights are split into three sections with a new C-shaped light signature wrapping around the tailgate and flowing into a light bar. Very modern. Thanks to the gently sloped roofline, aero-efficient rear bumper, spoiler and alloy wheels, the new Kodiaq enjoys a lower drag coefficient than its predecessor. I do really like the rear of the car, and I like that they've got the Skoda logo written, which a lot of new cars are doing nowadays.
So the Kodiaq has always been a big SUV, but it's now bigger all round. We do still get 5 and 7 seats, but let's go to the boot now and I'll show you how big it is, because it's the biggest boot I've actually ever seen. It's 910 litres in the 5-seater. That's with the seats up. Look at the size of this boot. Let's do the test and see if I can get in it. For reference, I am 5'9". Whack my head there. I can fit quite comfortably. Now I have gracefully dismounted from the boot, I just cut that bit out. This is actually a 7-seater. So let's put the seat up nice and easily. That worked a bit better than me getting in the boot. Now this actually has 340 litres, but I think I should try and sit in the seat and see if I can fit. Let's go. Right, so let's see how gracefully I can do this. So first, we're going to slide the seat forward a bit, and then we're going to move it like this. Now you can lay these flat, but because I've moved it forward, it obviously gets stuck on the iPad holder. So, let's sit down, and there you go. Really lots of room here. I would say there isn't much room for that passenger, but you could still move this back and I would be quite comfortable. Right, so the back seats are really impressive. There is so much going on here. So firstly, we can actually slide the seats for more boot space or more space here. So we have 2 heated seats and 2 USB-C chargers with not 2, but 3 cup holders, although that is small, so I'm not sure if you can count that. One of my favourite things in here are the sun visors, which I think are a great thing for if you have children. Now, we also have a few optional extras, which is this, which is an iPad holder. And we also have a storage here, which can be easily picked up and put down. I will just say that the quality here is fantastic. We've got this almost Alcantara sort of suede finish. It may not be the most practical thing with children because there are quite a few holes here and I can see crumbs getting stuck in it. However, it's a really nice finish and it's really comfortable, really roomy back here. Right, so let's talk about the cabin because it's a really nice place to be. It's really spacious. So we have smart controls here, which basically is a multifunctional button, which I think is really nice. I like the fact we still have physical buttons, although these are digital. Now, I really like the spec of this, and I don't really like the other specs. Now, this is almost a brushed aluminium. I'll overlay the spec that Auto Social, who I'm here with today, really like. I'd say it's a bit of granddad spec, but comment down below and let me know what you think.
So the interior adopts the design approach which was first seen in the Enyaq. I think I actually prefer this to the Enyaq because I really like the smart dials. They're really useful. The Enyaq does come with buttons, so it depends on what you're looking for. The finish across all trim levels is such brilliant quality, and that is something that Skoda does very well, is making good quality cars at a reasonable price. The steering wheel has physical buttons, which I'm very happy about, and I know you guys will be as well. Really, really easy to use. Although classic VW Group, we don't get a hang up button, which I can't understand why. So in the infotainment screen, we have it set up as Laura, who is your virtual assistant to help you. Now this actually did work on every occasion. You say, okay, Laura, please can you turn the heat up? And the car does it for you. There wasn't any lag in the infotainment screen. I think it was really easy to use. We did prefer to use Apple CarPlay for the maps, but I do think most people prefer that now anyway. Now the gear selector is on a stalk, and I feel like it's personal preference. It's not my favourite thing. We have not 2, but 4 cup holders here, and we also have 2 wireless charging ports. Skoda have definitely thought about storage with this car. We also have 2 glove boxes, which one is hidden away, which is very smart. Took me a while to realise how to open it.
Right, I think it's time to go for a drive now. This scenery is absolutely beautiful, but I'm not that used to driving on the other side of the road, so bear with me with this test drive. It may be a learning experience. So I've swapped cars now because it is actually the next day. So I'm now in a selection model, which I will show you. I do really like it as well. I do prefer the Sportline personally. But the reason I wanted to get in this car is it's the 2-litre TDI, which really interests me. So it's got a 0 to 62 time in 7.8 seconds and 400 newton meters of torque, which I think is pretty decent. This is the engine for me I would most likely go for, this or the 2-litre petrol. So let's have a look and see how it drives. Is it going to be a responsive diesel or is it going to be laggy? So although this isn't the highest trim level, it does have a panoramic sunroof that opens, and I love that. I think that makes all the difference in a car this size. Even though I'm on the wrong side of the car, obviously, this doesn't feel huge, this car. It's quite narrow, I think. It's not absolutely massive. Okay, so that's going up a really sort of steep hill, and it did it really well actually. I really like this engine. I think it's really refined. I think it drives really well. And the car feels nice on the road. It doesn't feel too heavy with this engine. Now, I don't think the 1.5 litre engine is big enough personally for me. I think for daily driving I'd need something with a bit more torque, a bit more power. However, I think it will sell quite well. Now, the bumps, I will say, the suspension is quite hard. It doesn't take the bumps as well as I thought it would, which is a bit of a shame, but it is a heavy car. So now you do have the option of dynamic chassis control with this car, and I think it genuinely makes all the difference. So yesterday I took the 1.5 litre without dynamic chassis in, and the suspension was quite hard, to be honest. It does make a difference. I think this is a great all-rounder. I think it's a fabulous car and it feels really good on the road. So, my drive of the car, it wasn't a very big drive because clearly I'm on the other side of the road and it does confuse me just a little. So what do I think of this engine? I think the 2 litre engine is a lot better than the 1.5 personally. I think that the 1.5 isn't enough for a car this size. However, I can see it being popular, and if you're not that fussed on power, I think it's absolutely fine. But I think the 2 litre just gives it that little bit of oomph and just makes daily driving that little bit more pleasant. We also get great miles per gallon with the diesel, but I would be interested to see how the petrol drives when I can get a chance to drive that. I'm also so excited for when the VRS will come of this. Let's keep our eyes peeled out for that because I'm sure it will come soon. So there we have it. You guys have made it to the end of another video. Hurrah! Let's talk about final thoughts on this car. I genuinely think this car is fantastic. It does what it needs, and Skoda are so good at tailoring to different markets. Now this is a family SUV through and through. All the gadgets, all the technology make daily life and daily driving that little bit easier. So please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and watch out for my next video. Bye.